Also, if you're interested, I've got VMs on USB keys, so pre-installed everything. Okay, so. Oh, can you start the clock? Yeah. So, thank you very much to be here. You are the brave ones who come to do web scrapings, so that's cool. Just want first to thank the organizer for the opportunity to doing this workshop. And it's very rare to promote open source tools, so I think we can give a row of claps, yeah, for the organizers. Thank you. So my name is Fabien Vauchelles, so I'm doing web scraping for many years. I'm passionate about that. I love to understand how to decompile stuff, understand anti-bot system and proxy. So we will do that together. Just before we start, who already did some web scraping? Yeah, some of you. And for the others, who already use ChatGPT? Yeah, so I think everyone does web scraping. So what we will do together is we will try to bypass advanced protections. So also I would like to present you a tool, but we will see that just after. We will try to bypass protection on this website. So this website is kind of TripAdvisor-like, and there is a lot of accommodation to collect. And the website had a lot of security inside, but we will try to bypass them one by one. So if you have an issue on that, I'm here. Don't hesitate. We will try to bypass all the protection of the website. The website is the same. There is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and we will use only open source tool to bypass protections. Good for you? Yeah? Okay. So I want to share with you what you will have. So first, I advise you to clone this repository. So you have the link after. So it's a challenge repository. You have first challenge is to install everything. I think that will be okay for you. If you have trouble, there is a virtual machines. You can download the virtual machine. It's an Ubuntu based with all Python stuff, Playwright, Docker inside if you like, but you can use it or install it separately if you want, and following the full install part. When you have done this part, you need to clone this repository to install Python library, okay? Install Playwright. We will use Playwright after. And if we have time, we will do some deobfuscation stuff. Also, if you can use Docker to pull Scrapoxy, here, you will understand how does it work. Sorry, I will zoom a little bit. And when it's up and ready, there are spiders. I will present you the spiders. And the good part is to try to run these spiders. I'm just presenting you quickly that. After I'm getting back, so you have the QR code, the link, everything again. So let me show you how the project is structured. So when you download the GitHub project, when you clone the project, you have these structures. So it's scraping workshop directories. Inside, you have a directory which is scraper. Inside, you have spiders. We will use a Python framework. Who knows Scrapy? Scrapy is Python framework, some of you, okay. So it's one of the most famous scraping framework in the world for more than 10 years. There is a lot of pull requests, plugins, and we will use that. So inside the spider directory, there is a tricky file, which is your spiders. And that is the only file that you need to modify today, okay? And we will do that one by one. And there is also another interesting directory, which is solutions. And you just have to copy-paste solutions. So if I'm going to the challenge 2 and I'm not able to bypass that, clearly I can use that and just copy-paste the full content of the file to the tricky review spiders. Okay, it's a lot of information, but you will see that's very simple. So let me show you. When everything is up and ready, you just have to write Scrapy here. Crawl tricky. And it will start the spiders, download all the items, so it's very quick. We have a good connection here. And the system will say to you, you've got 50 items. Perfect. So let me get back to the websites that we want to collect. So it's tricky reviews. Very simple. So I told you it's like TripAdvisors. So imagine that you want to see accommodation in Paris. You just click on search here, and you will get 50 results. Don't try in other cities. There is nothing in the database, only in Paris. And if you click on one accommodation, you'll get all the information. So you'll get the name, location, descriptions, and also review. So here the goal is to collect review to train an LLM afterward. But we won't train the LLMs. But we need to collect these informations. So let me show you how the web page is structured. So I will open the inspector, which can be very useful when you are doing web scrapings. If I'm going to network, here, going back to the home page, I will just clean a little bit, filter on doc. So you start with the home page. So you've got level 1. So you see there is level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. If I'm searching accommodation in Paris, I will get city here equal Paris, and it will get me the list of accommodations. If I'm clicking on one accommodations, I've got the ID of the accommodation. If I'm clicking on the response here, I've got the HTML, and you need to extract the information like the comment here. Okay, you said, oh, that's a lot for a 1 hour workshop, 1 hour and a half workshop. So don't worry. If you're going back to the spider here, I will show you. So not this one. Everything is written for you, okay? So you don't have to handle all the logic of the web scraping. We will only focus on bypassing protections. So how a spider works? So you've got a Python class, you've got a name. Remember, I wrote Scrapy, crawl, tricky, so it's this name. There is a starting URL. So you see there is level 1, we will modify to level 1, level 2, etc. And you have some configurations that you need to update on the first challenges. After, there is all the logic, so we will handle all the pagination. So you see there is a different page on the website. If I'm going back again here, you can see that I've got pagination at the bottom. So the scraper will handle that. We will do page from 1 to 10. We will clearly extract every link, every hotel link, and when we've got the response, we extract the name, email, review with CSS parser. That's okay for you? That's very simple. You don't have to handle these logics. Okay, so first step, installations. So you can connect to the Wi-Fi if you don't have connections and install Python library, Node.js, Playwright, and Scrapoxy. So I let you about 10 minutes to do that. If you need help, just raise your hand. So if you already ran the first spider, just jump to the challenge 2 and try to understand. Today we have very cool antibot in front of you. He will tell you all the errors that you're doing. To be honest, that never happens, so enjoy. Does someone need these pictures, or you good? Can I switch? Yeah, okay. Who already succeeded to run the first spider, first challenge? Just one? Yeah. If you want, you just have to clone the repository. Yeah. Come on, don't be shy. I saw you. So now, who ran his first spider? Yeah, 2. Okay. 3, 4, 5. Come on, guys. So I will jump to the spiders. Okay. So now if I'm changing the number to the next levels, so level 2, okay. If I run the spiders, I've got classic error here, which is unknown browser. Okay, so you block, you cannot download the 50 items. What should we do? Yeah, we can fake the user agents. Who already tried to fake a user agent? Yeah, some of you. So that's cool. Let's do that. So where can I get a user agent? Any idea? On the browser. Yeah. So if you want to fake the user agent, the first things, you can go back where it works on your browsers. So let's open again the inspector, have some requests on the network. So let's click here. Oh, you see, protection activated on level 1. So let's get back on level 2. Okay, I've got some requests here. So I can jump to headers here. And I've got a list of HTTP headers. So I know it's very small. I've got the response headers, I've got the request headers. So that's all information that the browser is sending to the server. And clearly we are sending a lot of information to the web server to declare ourselves to be identified. So here the browser is sending this information user agents. But the thing is, when I'm using Scrapy, by default the user agent is Scrapy. And the website says, hey, I won't let you pass. So we need to change the user agent. So let's use the value of Chrome. So what I can do here, going back to my parameters on the custom settings, and I can change the user agent. Oh, I've got copilots. Copilots helping me. So you can use Copilot when you're doing web scraping or deobfuscations. It's a very good help. So you see, Copilot suggests me that I should be on Windows. Okay, so let's try that. So if I'm running again the spider, here. Oh, that's not working again. But the thing is, I don't have the same issue here. I've got this one, which is sexchua. So I miss some header. So what should I do? Any idea? Yeah. Yeah, I can't find this header from the browsers. So do you have any idea why the browser the server asks this kind of user informations? No? So if I'm getting back to Chrome, you can see that Chrome is not sending only one information, only one HTTP headers. It's sending also confirmations. So it's confirming the user agent here by these security headers. So it's saying we are on Linux. Okay, it's not mobiles. And yes, here are more details about the user agents. So if you miss that, it's not consistent because every time Chrome is sending this information. So you need to add these informations.
Does it mean Firefox has the same approach?
Firefox has a different approach. So if you're saying that you're on Firefox, it's asking other headers, other combinations. So if you try with the Firefox user agents, I think he asks only the sexch or another one. And if you're using Safari, it's not asking this kind of information. So you can miss this header with Safari. But it's because I'm on Linux Ubuntu now, so it's asking me all this header on Chrome. But you're right. So let's do that. So I can add these headers. And if I'm running that, you can see that I collect every items. So I've got my 50 items. Oh, there is something I forgot to show you. The good thing with this framework is Scrappy can directly extract to a CSV file, Excel file, whatever. So here, you can directly export to a CSV file, and you have the structured information here. That's interesting when you're doing quite automation often. Okay. Is it good for you? Yeah? If you lost, you just copy-paste the solutions like that. Okay. So you can get solution of challenge 2. I'm selecting everything, copying on Trekkie here, replacing everything, running again the spiders, and it works. So I will move to level 3. So if I'm running on level 3, I've got errors. So I'll let you understand what the errors are. Nope. Yep. So sorry, it was level 4 here, yeah, but it's quite the same. So you've got the right answer. So we are doing too many requests from a single IP address here. So what can we do if we are doing too many requests? Add delay, okay. So I'm doing 50 requests. Now I want to do in 1 hour 1 million requests. Should I add 1 minute between every request? No, I cannot do that. So I need to use batch, but yeah, but we need proxies. So we need other IP address. So we know what is a proxy. Not a reverse proxy, a proxy. Okay, a lot of you. So for those who don't know, so proxy is a system on internet which will relay your request between your spider and the web server. So for the web server, instead of seeing millions of requests coming from one IP address, so your laptop or server, he will see clearly a lot of IP address sending few requests. So you will bypass the limits. And of course, there is different type of proxy. You can have what we call data center proxies, there is ISP proxies, there is residential proxy. We know what data center proxy are? No, none of you? Yeah, I saw you. So data center proxy, it's like you order a VPS on GCP and you install Scrapoxy, you relay your data through this proxy, you have a new IP address. That's data center proxy. So you can create your own proxy, you can create multiple proxy, or you can buy some proxy from the providers. There is also ISP proxy. Because with data center proxies, there is a big issue. With data center proxy, the IP of the proxy is the IP of the IP range of the data centers. And the thing is, there is database associated with this IP range, as they can get you what we call autonomous system numbers. So when imagine that Amazon bought a lot of IP range for a lot of money, so they will put them in the same autonomous system numbers. And there is database to do the reverse process. So you put the IP address and you get these names. And you get this name in clear, which is Amazon, GCP, Microsoft. So you know where the IP comes from, a data center. So you can block the traffics. That's why there is ISP proxy. So it's basically also data center VPS. But they don't use the IP address from the data center. Instead, they will use the IP address rent from a mobile carrier or an internet service provider, box providers. So you can go to AT&T, Verizon, and say, okay, please rent me some IP address. They will give you some IP address, so you put this IP to your server, and you will be mixed between real users. So that's where ISP proxy comes from. So that's very interesting. And there is a last type of proxy, which is residential proxy. Do you know what it is? Yeah, residential, yeah? Correct. Exactly. So there is many ways of doing residential proxy. First, perhaps you're a developer. You want to get monies from your applications. You have many solutions. You can sell subscriptions, monthly subscriptions, which unlock feature, whatever else. You can add advertisings, like a video that you force a user to watch before unlocking some feature. And you can add an SDK, which shares the bandwidth of the user. So it's a real IP of real users. Of course, there is agreements from the user, etc. You can also install application on your laptop, and you will get some money for sharing your bandwidth. That's where IP address from residential network comes from. So it's very powerful because it's really real IP address from real users. And there are millions of endpoints available in the world. So the issue now, so we need IP address. How can we set up that easily? The difficulty with proxy is to manage providers. So what we can do is to install a proxy manager, which is Scrapoxy. So it's a software that I'm developing for 8 years. It's a free open source MIT license used by a lot of companies. and it manages multiple providers. So you will install that. So let me show you how you can do that. It's quite easy. So I will jump to terminal. Okay. So it's basically a Docker file, and it's already running. Okay, so I can connect on localhost. And run Scrapoxy. I've got very advanced credential, admin password. Don't blame me. And you've got a project. Scrapoxy asks you to create your first project. You just click on create. And what you can do is to add a lot of connectors. You can add your AWS credentials. You can add proxy vendor credentials with ISP proxy, residential proxy if you have subscriptions. You can add free proxy list from internet. You can add hardware. There is a lot of hardware existing for having proxy. So imagine that you want to add AWS. You just click on create, and you can add your credential here. And Scrapoxy is like Kubernetes, smaller, very smaller. It will orchestrate all the creation on VMs on Amazon or GCP, whatever for you. So you don't have to manage that. So what we can do today, I will show you, is to use these providers. They gave me some credentials, smart proxy, and you can click on create, select keep ISP proxy. We will use ISP proxy and enter username and passwords. And after, I let you configure Scrapoxy with Scrapy, because you need to plug Scrapy to Scrapoxy. So Scrapy will send all the traffic to Scrapoxy, and Scrapoxy will send the traffic to Smart Proxy and use all the proxy. Okay? It's very simple. Don't be afraid. So let me share with you some credentials. Yeah. Here. I think it's better now. It's I. Yeah. Please don't abuse, that's my credentials. I don't want to be banned. Okay, so if you want to plug Scrapoxy, don't be lost. You just go on challenge 3 here, and you copy paste these lines. So it's from the custom settings. Okay, you've got the download middleware. You just have to add the middleware and Scrapoxy configurations. Basically, you're saying to Scrapy, hey, don't directly send the requests. Just intercept the requests, send them to Scrapoxy. And Scrapoxy will handle the logic. So I just have to add all these parameters. So doing this copy-paste here. So remember, I'm here. The download middleware, okay. I need to add again, so this part, perfect. Oh, there is too much. Yep, bracket. And I need to use this username and password. So it's not admin password here. That's more tricky. So you need to get back to the UI. So I'm here. So on the UI, you click on Setting on the bottoms, and you copy-paste the username and password. Each project has its own credentials. It's because it's used for routings. When you have multiple strategy, imagine that you have a multiple project, one by geolocation, one in Europe, one in Asia, one in the US. You can do that. You can also use different types of proxy inside the project, data center, ISPs, on multiple geolocations, so you can combine. So the result is having multiple projects here. So of course, there is only one endpoint in Scrapoxy, so you need to route to the correct project. And for that, we are using settings. So those one. So I just copy-paste the information here. Copying the password. Oh. And I need also to configure Smart Proxy. So let me cheat a little bit. So I can configure here Smart Proxy, create, use the username, get the password now. So what I will do, I will select now the credentials that I created. I will add 5 proxy, I don't need more. Selecting in the US, click on create, and start the proxy. And you can see that proxy will appear very quickly. So on the proxy list, I will get my US proxy. So it will give you a lot of information like the traffic sent, received, the number of requests, and also the geolocation informations. And you can confirm that with the coverage map, so you can see your proxy strategy here, which is quite interesting when a proxy vendor comes to you and say, yes, I just sell you proxy from the US, and you find them in Bulgaria. So yeah, it happens. Thanks, guys. So now everything is plugged. What I can do, I can run again the spiders. So now all the traffic from Scrapy is sent to Scrapoxy. Scrapoxy is sent to Smart Proxy, who use a different endpoint and connect to the website. So you can see that I don't have any rate limit issue, and I've got my 50 items. If I'm not sure if everything is going through Scrapoxy, I can go on the proxy list, and I will check the information here. So yeah, I just send all the requests, and I've got 100% success rate. So I know that everything is working. Who just do that? Yeah, 1, 2, okay. Who's struggling? I know a guy is struggling with Docker. Okay, I just come.
Just back to the credentials.
Yes, yes, for sure. Who has the issue with the proxy? The proxy are red. Okay. happens sometimes. Can you show me the code? Okay, so okay, you have. Challenge. Okay, just more recap. So I've got Scrapoxy running here, okay? So I will just stop the connectors. So remember, you add 5 proxy, you select United States. When it's okay, you can start, so you need to click here to get the proxy. And on the proxy list, they will appear. So that's the previous ones. So, okay, I've got the new ones. I can confirm that with a map. So it's important that you see proxy on the map. And when you want to connect to Scrapy, first, you need to add the middleware, otherwise Scrapy doesn't know how to route informations. And of course, you need to add the credentials. So there is a credential here, and you get these informations from the project settings here. You click on settings on the bottoms, and you copy-paste username and password. And now everything is up and ready, and I can collect informations. So it's a little bit slower because we're going through the US, but I will bypass protections. Good. So now what we will do is to move to challenge 6. I know we are jumping over 5, but I will go on challenge 6. Okay. So let me show you what will happen. So if I'm running the spiders, this time I don't have any items. I didn't collect anything. I've got a big error, which is no fingerprint. You see? Okay. So why is there is no fingerprint? Let's have a look on the Chrome, on the tricky review. So I will jump on the level 6 here. Okay, level 6, perfect. I'm not filtering on doc. So this time, if I'm reloading the file, you can see I'm downloading a lot of information. So basic HTML, images, CSS, JavaScript. I'm downloading information with get methods. But if I'm looking a little bit closer, I've got post request here. So now I'm not only downloading information, I'm uploading information to the server. So I'm sending information. So what am I sending? If I'm clicking on one request, and you can see the request continues, so it's sent at regular interval. So if I'm clicking on one request and checking the payload, oh, I'm sending the platform, the time zone, and the real user agent. So now if I'm trying to faking these informations, perhaps it's inconsistent with this value. So where does this value came from? So now we're executing script. So it came from JavaScript. So the website, when we connect to the website, we download JavaScript, we execute the script, and the script gathers what we call signals. So signals are platform, time zone, user agents, and anti-bot system, most of the time, they gather 100 or 200 signals, so it's a lot. And they send this information to the web server. So if we are using only Scrapy, we are doing only HTTP requests. We are not executing JavaScript. So we need a way to execute JavaScript. So what we can do is to use the Playwright framework. Who knows Playwright? I assume it's end-to-end framework. So there is Playwright, Selenium, Puppeteers, you know, all these end-to-end frameworks that you can use for web scrapings. So here we can use Playwright because it can be controlled by Scrapy and very easily. So let me show you. So what I can do, so this time we will cheat a little bit because there is a lot of code. So let's go on challenge 4. Let's copy paste the code of challenge 4 to tricky. Okay, I will replace that. So just let me explain you the code of the challenge of this part. So basically, it's the same spiders. I'm going to the start URL, so level 6. What I will do is do the start request. When I've got the home page, I'm asking the cities, so same request. When I've got the list of accommodations, I extract every accommodations. I'm going to each accommodation and I'm extracting name, emails, and review. So quite the same spiders. The only thing that is different is the way of downloading information. So instead of using basic HTTP request from Scrapy, we ask to Scrapy, please use this download handler from Playwright. So now Scrapy asks to Playwright to open a Chrome browser and do all the requests. So what I need to do here is just to fill my username and password for the proxy. So same exercise from the previous challenge. So I will copy paste my usernames here and password. Sorry, yeah, where is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, it was a little bug. So username and password. And now if I'm starting Scrapy asks to Playwright to open browsers. So you can see, hop, it will open 10 Chrome browsers, going to the home page, downloading the JavaScript, executing the JavaScript, sending the fingerprint, and now the server has a fingerprint, so I'm allowed to download the data. So it's not so fast, but clearly you can see I'm bypassing every protections. So I let you do the same. And here, I've got 50 items. Perfect. I just bypass the fingerprint. So if you successfully pass the Playwright, jump to the challenge 7. On challenge 7, the thing is, okay, we're sending a fingerprint. The antibot server is happy. Is knowing that you are able to execute JavaScript, so you're perhaps a real browser. But of course, he will not stop from there. He will use this fingerprint to do some consistency checks. So yeah, you will have some errors. So just change to level 7, and clearly you will have some errors. If you have an issue with Playwright, I missed some things. So you need to install manually the package with pip install scrappy_playwright. Okay, if you have this issue. Just copy paste what you have, because I'm very bad on typo. So, did you succeed? So, also another tricks. Don't try to modify your existing Trekkie .py, okay? Just take the challenge 4, select everything, and replace Trekkie here. Why? Because on Playwright, there is minor modification to do. If you want to use Playwright, you need to say to Scrappy, okay, for this request, use Playwright, like that. Also, you need 2 tricks with context. And clearly, you don't want to bother with that because it remains 16 minutes. So just copy-paste. Fill the credentials and go on level 7. Yes. Who is on challenge 7? Cool. Sorry, it's 5. Yeah. Okay, so if I'm modifying here level 6 to level 7 and executing Trekkie, what will I get? So Scrappy has to Playwright to open Chrome, starting an army of Chrome, killing my machine, connecting to the website, getting the fingerprint, sending the fingerprints, the web server checks the fingerprint, and I think I've got some errors. Okay. So boom. you're right, I've got a time zone issue. Yeah, my browser settings is Europe, Paris, but I'm using US IP address. So we have a 7-hour difference. So basically, what I'm saying is that the antibot told you, you're using a VPN or proxy, and I don't want. So please get rid of that. So yeah, let's get rid of that. I won't change the IP address because I love this US IP address. That's the best IP address. So what I can do is to change the browser time zones. So how can I align these informations? So let's open settings. Yep. And here I can modify the Playwright context stuff. And there is one parameter which is time zone ID. And I will say, okay, let's go America, New York. Perfect. So now if I'm starting the spider, so Scrapy has to Playwright to open Chrome browser. The army of browser is coming, connecting to the website, gathering informations, sending the time zone, this time in New York. So we are aligned and we can collect informations. And as you can see, yeah, I'm collecting everything. So that's the goal when you're dealing with antibots. You need to align informations. So sometimes it can take time, but clearly when you're using browsers, it's okay. But do you think we can download millions of requests of page in 1 hour with that? Imagine that you have a business that you're collecting millions of data on 1 hour. Is it possible to open Chrome like that? Can be heavy, and you can spend a lot of money on VMs. So I think we won't do that. So there is another techniques to bypass. So I've got 10 minutes, so I will show you how we can do that. So let's jump to challenge 8. So I will reload this information here on challenge 8. Okay. Okay, so now this time is the antibots that you can find on commercial protections or social platforms. So this kind of websites that drive a lot of traffic. So they need very advanced antibot protections. So here you can see that I'm downloading a lot of information, so HTML, image, JavaScript, CSS, whatever. But I'm also sending information. Okay, yes, there is a post request here. And I'm doing this request on a regular basis. So the last one, post request. So this time is not FP like fingerprint, okay? It's a VM6 nya nya nya. So it's very obvious that it should be the antibot. And if I'm checking the payload, you've got this one. So can you understand which signal they are collecting? What? Yeah, it's encrypted. So, no, it's RSA. I know the solution, so I can tell you. But basically, they are encrypted signals. So they don't want to know that which signal. They don't want that you know which signal they are monitoring. So we need to understand how this payload is encrypted. So we need to trace back to the source code which creates this payload. So let's have a look to the source code. So if I'm going here to source code here, okay. So that's the website. There is no magic way to find the source code. But here, on the list of JavaScript files, I think it's not Bootstrap. Clearly obvious, not jQuery, okay, should be this one. You agree with me? Yeah, okay. So if I'm clicking on this file, you can see it's obvious what the code is doing. No, I'm joking. So it's clearly obfuscated, and you cannot understand what the code is doing. That's the goal of antibots. They don't want that you know what they are doing. And perhaps they are collecting a lot of information on you, which is not good. So what they are doing first, they are declaring a lot of constant, okay? Sorry? You see that? You should do a deobfuscation. Yeah, there is some string B2, yeah. But it gives you tips, and I will show you. But you're right. But what is the RSA key? You read it? Yeah, in solutions. Thank you. Also, I wanted to show you that there is function. So they are using this constant. So you cannot understand what the function is doing. And thanks to Chrome, it's prettified. But if I've got the raw content, it's one line. It's a one-liner, so you cannot understand. So let me explain you a little bit of the obfuscations. So before I explain you the obfuscation, I will show you how you can obfuscate code. So there is techniques to obfuscate code, and we will use Babel.js for that. So Babel.js is a transpiler. It's used for minifications, and we can use that to modify the code. So imagine that you have this kind of string. The first thing to obfuscate the code is to do string bracketing. So you will change from dot notations to string notations. It's still readable. What you can do is to do string splittings, because JavaScript allows you to do that. So yeah, I know, it's still readable. So what you can do now is to replace the string by constant. It's called constant unfoldings. So you add constant at different places in the code with some random names. So if you read the last line in red, you can understand the meaning of the operations. But you can still figure out by looking to the value declarations. That's why you will use string concealing. Here we're using basic base 64 encoding. Okay, so that's obviously what you can do. But anti-bot systems use far more advanced encryption functions. So yeah, that's what they're doing. And to do deobfuscation, you just apply this operation in the reverse orders. So that's what we will do now. So what I will do first is to copy-paste this source code. So I copy that, and I will put it in an empty file, which is here. Okay. So it's the obfuscated source code. And what I will do is to use a deobfuscator, which I written specifically for this challenge. So how does it work? So it's JavaScript, basically. So it's Babel.js. You can see it's Babel. And what we will do constant unfoldings. We will do the reverse of string splitting, so we will join string, etc., etc. So if I'm running now this deobfuscator with Node.js, I will get a deobfuscated file here, which is this one. Okay, so yes, that's not a full clear code. You cannot find the name of the function because they are lost in the deobfuscation process. But you can understand the meanings. So here, it's the functions. Here, as you said, it's RSA encryptions. You can see it's RSA encryptions. Okay, it's RSA encryption, so I need to have somewhere a key. Okay, should be the key here. Perfect, so I will copy-paste the key. Okay, so I've got the key here. So here, there is another function. Okay, it's a post function, so I'm sending the payload to the web server. But which signal are we sending? Okay, perhaps it's below, or it should be some WebGL stuff here. Okay, yes, so the antibot is gathering the vendor of the GPU and the renderer, these two informations. And they are doing a JSON from that. Okay, now what we need to do is to send a forged payload to the web server. So I've got a small challenge here. Yeah, I will show you. So just get back the obfuscated key. Yep. So what the code is doing. So it's the same spiders, you can see. So I'm going to the home page. No, but just after going to the home page, I'm sending the forged payload here with the build payload. And I'm doing all the requests. So let's have a look to the build payload. So first, I'm creating a payload for the antibot. So we were speaking about the vendor. So let's say it's Intel, the renderer. Let's say it's Intel 2. OK, and I need a key. Perfect. I copy-paste the key. I will encrypt the stringified payload and send it to the server. So now if I'm running that, you can see it's very fast. I just bypassed a very advanced protections and get my 50 items. So that's what you need to do when you need to bypass advanced protections. But of course, it can take a lot of time to deobfuscate the protections. So thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed the sessions. Don't forget to fill the survey. It's helped me a lot. If you liked or hate this workshop, just specify me everything. And I think I've got time for one question. OK.
He's got a minute. Okay. Anybody have a question?
No questions? OK, thank you.
Thank you, Fabien. That was a treat. Some real expert tricks there.